Joker will join in 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear
Hello.
me, everyone?
Yeah,
Hi, then.
Tarak.
Hi,
Hello,
Piers.
Guru.
Hi, Nirsa. Hi, everyone. So, I think most of us are here. We can start. Um, we will do things in Redux, and yesterday we saw the way to do Redux in React is to use a package called Redux Toolkit. So let's start from there. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, so I hope you somehow searched or watched a short video or maybe Googled about Redux or Redux Toolkit. Um, if you haven't, that's also fine, but it will help you um, uh, to understand better. So let me quickly do that. Redux Toolkit. Oh, I think Redux Toolkit. So Redux Toolkit is actually it is used to set up the store. So it is used to create a store in React. Actually, currently we are using React. So and it is the recommended one, officially recommended one. So there are yesterday I told you about React Redux as well. I just mentioned, we haven't actually discussed. React Redux is also the way to use Redux in React. But if you go somewhere, maybe let me go to getting started. Maybe they have mentioned Redux Toolkit. Let's see. Um, uh, yeah, it is the official React UI binding layer for Redux. And yeah, here um, we have like I'm expecting that they have mentioned to use Redux Toolkit somewhere. Maybe they have written that somewhere. And actually, we will use Redux Toolkit instead of React Redux. Previously, Redux Toolkit was not there. So we need to use React Redux, but now it is the recommended way to actually write Redux logic in your React application. So that's why we will not see this one. But if you work somewhere, they may have used React Redux instead of Redux Toolkit because they may be using older React, older Redux or older project that use React Redux. All right, and this is not that much difficult as well. So you need to just understand the flow, and if you know what is going on there, then I think syntax will be can be easily you can easily work on the syntax, I think. So let's do React Redux Toolkit today. All right, so we need to use this package called redux.js/toolkit, right? Yesterday we just installed it, I think. So let's start from there. If you see here on package.json, we have this package named redux.js/toolkit. See, I think this is the version one, but the version two of this package is maybe also coming soon because it has reached up to 1.9.1. So when these numbers are changed, for example, when this is 1.9.2, this is a very small change in the version. So you can safely actually upgrade to that version when it becomes 1.9.2 from 1.9.1. They will not have any breaking changes. So when it becomes, for example, from 1.8 to 1.9, when this number changes, this number, then that is also not very big sense. That will also not break your application. But when this version, this number change from 1.9 to 2, then it may include breaking change. So this is the major version change. That's why you need to make sure when you are upgrading your dependencies from different versions to the latest one. Okay, because the previous version may not support, the current version may not support the syntax used in the previous version. Okay, you need to make sure from the documentation, because I think 1.5 or 1 years ago we have like React router DOM, which was version 5. Okay, this was the version 5 of React router DOM a year ago, and it include the syntax. Let's see, it includes the syntax like switch. So, but after right now we have React router DOM, which is actually the version 6, 6.6 already. So it doesn't actually have that syntax called switch. So maybe I can go here, and it includes the syntax called uh, let me go. Maybe this is React router only. Actually, it includes the syntax called routes, but not switch. So what I'm trying to actually this illustrate from here is, you need to make sure when you are changing the version. Maybe after a few months, if you are installing React JS /toolkit, then that may be the version 2, and then you need to actually consider looking at the documentation first. So the first way to start learning anything when you have little experience is to actually start learn from documentation, and then only it will be better to actually use other resources. All right, so enough about those things. Maybe we can do something with Redux JS toolkit now. So what we are going to do is, yesterday I told you we are going to configure this store. This is the single store that we will be using in entire our application. When we have some application, maybe you may be using, maybe you may be creating e-commerce website. In that e-commerce website as well, you will be have a single store. So the main actually goal or main purpose of using Redux instead of context API is to only use single store, because in context API we are using multiple contexts, right? In Redux we can use multiple store, we can create multiple store as well, but it is not recommended way to use Redux in React. We will be always using single store, but we can split that the part of the store. Actually, they are called slice. We'll see what are slice, but we will combine those slice and combine it to make a single store once again. So let's see how can we do that. We can go in store. This is a folder name. You can actually write any name, okay, it doesn't matter. And let me create a file called store.js. Yeah, okay. So you can follow me right now, everyone, so that you can learn Redux. And maybe if you have some issue, then we can discuss, right?
Gaurav, it is still the FD4 folder, right?
Yeah, it is still inside this FDB4 repository. I think this code is in GitHub as well, right? Yeah, just check that out, and maybe yeah, I think I already posted yesterday. It will be there. So you can actually pull that repository, and after you pull that repository, just go to Redux toolkit. Yeah, just let me wait for you to complete that. Then what you need to do is, there are two way to go together with me. Maybe you can create empty folder in your PC somewhere, open it with VS Code, install React with Vite, and install Redux toolkit. That's one way. Other way is, if you have already cloned this repository, then you can just pull the changes from GitHub. What you need to type in the terminal it is git pull origin main. You need to type this command and it will pull the changes from the main branch. Or if you want to just clone it, then you need to um, open empty folder with VS Code. Then you need to just write git clone and just go to that FDB4 FDB4 URL. Just type the URL here, paste the URL here, and just write dot. Okay, that URL is the URL that you will get by clicking on that green color code button. I think you can do that. That's why I didn't write it here.
Hey,
And then,
Gorak, I have a question.
yeah, yeah,
To create
sure.
the app using Vite, it's yarn create Vite, right?
Yeah, but we are using P and PM right now. If you want to follow me, then you
Mm-hmm.
need to write P and PM create Vite.
Okay.
Okay, but you need to make sure pnpm is installed on your PC. Otherwise you need to first install it. Yesterday I showed you need to write uh, npm I pnpm -g to install pnpm on your PC. Okay,
How do you know? How
so
can you check if you have PNPM on your?
yeah, check if you have pnpm or not by just writing pnpm and small letter pnpm space -v. So for any package, anything that you want to check, just write the name and space -v. For example, if you want to check TypeScript is there on your PC or not, you can write tsc space -v. For example, if you want to check like yarn is there or not, you need to write yarn space -v. So yeah. Okay, then let me wait, everyone. I think you must have you can follow me today because we are entirely going into the different topic called Redux, and this is really important as well.
Oh, Gorak,
So
one question.
yeah,
When you're creating the npm I pnp hyphen g, uh, like I'm getting one error. Can I fix it by using like writing sudo in the beginning? Because I remember it worked last
yeah,
time.
maybe yeah, right. Maybe that will be the permission issue. If you are using Mac
Yeah.
or Linux, then you need to write sudo.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everyone. So you need to make sure you have pnpm there. Otherwise, you need to install pnpm. To install pnpm, you need to write this command if you are on Mac. Otherwise, you can ignore this sudo part. And if you want to check whether pnpm is there or not in your PC, you need to write after installation. You can write this as well. If you want to install React with Vite, then you need to write this command pnpm create Vite. We are using this pnpm dependency package manager. We have three package managers. One is npm, another one is yarn, another one is pnpm. Okay, we are using pnpm here. Previously we used yarn. All right, if you already have if you already have the repository FDB4 repo, this FDB4 repo, then you need to just write this command in your terminal, git pull origin main. All right, so if you want to use FDB4 repo and if you don't have it, then you need to write this command git clone, and this URL means the URL coming from GitHub, right? I think you know how to copy that URL. Otherwise, just let me know, okay?
I have
So
an
you
error.
can,
Can I share my screen?
yeah, sure.
Okay. So I was getting I got up to here and then I tried just copying this and then running it just to get the latest one and then I got this error.
Um, okay, can you show me the command that you entered?
Yeah. Where is it? Right here. npm.
I npm -c. Okay, maybe this is the permission issue. And then after writing sudo, did
And
you
then I
use
got
sudo?
sudo. Where was it?
Maybe a little bit
This
down
one
of
was the
your screen.
sudo. After I wrote sudo, I got this. But it's not showing
Okay.
that one. Because if I go back to, so I did that.
It, oh, okay. Sudo npm I pnpm. It should work actually. Okay. Is this the error? No, it has already installed. Now you can
Okay.
check, right? Pnpm space -v.
Yeah. npm.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
you have already
Okay.
pnpm. Okay.
Thank you. And then now it's just downloading the Redux toolkit, right?
Yeah, now you can first, do you want to install React yourself in this empty folder called Redux demo,
Oh, that's right.
or
I
do
have
you want
to.
to clone?
Oh no, I'll do it. I'll
So
just
if you want to install React, then you need to first write pnpm space create space vite to install React with vite.
oh, this one.
Yeah, this command, right?
After cloning from your repository,
And then
Yeah,
project name.
I'll come back to you, Mukund, after
okay,
cloning.
So
Yeah.
for
I'm trying to
project
pick up
name, I
what you're
already
saying.
have it in a folder. Do I just click
Yeah, you can
like
just click dot, or you can remove everything. Yeah, dot means you don't want to create another folder.
got it. Okay, and then React, JavaScript.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you need to write pnpm space I. I means install. You can just write I
Uh-huh.
instead of install. Yeah, and hit enter. I and hit enter.
Okay.
And it is installed. Now you can install Redux Toolkit. You need to write pnpm once again, space I and space the name of the package. So, Alan, where can we get the name of the package from? Where we can search?
Just like look for a Redux toolkit.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just write type Redux Toolkit there, or you can go to npm.js. That is the popular one. Yeah, you can go here as well. The official website will also provide you the syntax. Yeah, click on get started.
So is it this one?
No, not this one. Let me scroll a little down. Yeah, this one. See there?
Oh, okay,
Yarn add
npm.
after
Yeah.
the, yeah, you need to just copy the name only. You don't want that npm install portion. You just copy
Also,
from
just
@
this.
all the way to toolkit. Yeah. Okay, now it has installed Redux toolkit as well. You can simply start your application now using pnpm dev. Instead of using yarn dev, now we'll use pnpm dev because
Oh,
we are
just
using
dev.
pnpm. Yeah, pnpm dev only.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then we
that's all
haven't
we
changed
want.
any of these files or anything.
We haven't changed anything. We will do it.
Okay. But didn't we add a folder here?
Yeah, only folder is added. You can create folder as well. Maybe you can create a store folder there. We will be doing things in store. And you can
Okay.
create another folder called components as well
Okay.
inside SRC. Yeah. Yeah,
And that's
that's all
it?
we have right now. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do it together now.
All right. Thank you.
All right, great. So yeah, Mukund, you are asking like what to do after clone or something like that.
Yeah, I cloned the your repository with
Maybe
toolkit.
if possible, you can share your screen so that I
Okay.
can know what is going on. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Yeah.
You have cloned it, right? You
Yeah.
have everything inside FDB4 folder. So just go to your terminal. That's fine. Everything is fine until now. Now you need to go to the terminal. And in here, oh, you have nested folder structure now. You have React Redux folder and then FTP4 folder, and then only you have your code related folders. Yeah, that's fine. You can just type cd FTP4 there in your terminal. cd FTP4. Yeah, I think you have typo there. FTP4. The folder name is FTP4.
Oh, okay.
You see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, you need to write cd space redux hyphen toolkit because we want to go inside redux toolkit folder. See name of the redux toolkit folder on the left. You need to type that name redux
Redux.
hyphen toolkit. Yeah, above state management, we
Weapon.
have Redux too.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
This one, right?
Right. Okay, now did you install PNPM already?
I
You
tried,
can
but
check, you can just write PNPM space hyphen V to check if
yeah.
VNPM is there or not. Yeah,
PN.
no, it's PN and PM. First PN and PM.
This one.
Yeah, space hyphen V. We just want to check whether it is there or not.
No.
You haven't installed pnpm. Now you need to write npm I, yeah, npm I space pnpm space hyphen v to install pnpm. Sorry, hyphen z, not hyphen v.
Sorry.
Actually, that and there is just there. You can
Hmm.
just press up arrow. It will give you previous
Oh,
command. And just remove that v and make it z. V is for version, G is for global installation.
oops, so many errors.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's see why is the error. It says command failed, is not recognized. Okay. It shouldn't actually give this error. So can you write sudo and then this command? Sudo and the above command. npm I, yeah. Just come back to the initial location. You need to go there by your cursor, not from your mouse, and just write sudo and give it one space and hit enter.
Good?
Yeah, you can hit enter now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is not recognized because this is Windows PC. I thought it will be recognized in this terminal, but not
He got a typo
recognized.
mistake. It should be PNPM. He wrote PNMP.
Right. I didn't
Sudo
see that here.
sudo npm
You need to
I
just correct that above syntax. You don't need to write sudo, remove sudo. Just write npm space I
npm
space. Yeah, there is pnpm. You wrote pnmp. See above.
p,
Your command was not correct.
p for
You need to
Paul,
write pn. Yeah,
en, and
once
pm.
again Paul. Yeah,
Okay,
and space hyphen z.
okay. Yeah, starting now.
Okay, it is installed now. Now you need to just write. You are inside Redux toolkit, right? You need
Yeah,
to install the dependencies. What you need to do is just write pnpm once again and space hyphen I. Sorry, just I, not hyphen, just I. pn.
npm
See,
pm.
your command is again, yeah, pnpm and space hyphen. Sorry, just I, not hyphen. Okay, just write I there. Yeah, and hit enter.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you have installed the dependencies. Now you need to write pnpm space dev and it will start your live server.
pnpm tab, right?
Right. Okay, yeah. You can click on that URL. It will open in your browser and we will start from there.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Link.
Press Control and yeah.
Okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, is it working on the
Yeah.
browser?
Yeah.
All right, fine. So any question from anybody else? If you are stuck somewhere. Yeah, guys, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then I think we can work together now. If we are here. So what we did is we installed React and we installed our Redux toolkit. Okay. So if you want to install React with Vite, then you need to write one more command after installing React, pnpm create Vite, and then you need to write pnpm I command to install the dependencies, and then you need to write pnpm I, and then that is at the rate redux js / toolkit. So you need to write this command, and then you will have Redux toolkit and React with you. Otherwise, if you pull my repository, then React and Redux toolkit are already there. What you need to do is just you can do it in either of one way. Either you can use this command if you already have the repo, or you can use this command. If you are using this command, then you need to install dependencies once again. You need to go to that Redux uh, React Redux folder, right? React Redux folder right here. Oh, Redux toolkit folder, sorry. Redux toolkit folder. And then you need to write pnpm I to install the dependencies, but make sure you have pnpm, okay? Otherwise, you need to install pnpm with this command. All right, so let's actually write actual code in this store.js file. All right, I'll just remove it. Any question until now? If you are stuck somewhere or if you can't do it, then you can just ask me. I'll just assist you on your screen. All right, then. So let's actually write Redux here. Let's use Redux actually. So we will first import that package that we just installed. That is, we will import something from there, from actually that Redux JS toolkit, this package. That something is actually, let's go to the documentation. Maybe we have quick start or usage guide. Let me go to quick start. Let me see what is there. See here, this is the quick start documentation. If you are using TypeScript, then you need to actually write this code. If you are using JavaScript, then you need to write this code. So I'm using JavaScript, right? We are using JavaScript currently. How to verify? You can just go to, you can just see first the file name are all .jsx instead of tsx, or you can also go to package.json and you will see if TypeScript is there in the sub dependency or dependency, dev dependency or dependency, then you'll be using TypeScript. Otherwise, you'll be using JavaScript. So we are using JavaScript currently, and we want to import something from this package. That is this configure store function actually. Okay, configure store will help you to configure your store with Redux toolkit. This is really simple, right? We will most of the time follow the documentation. See here, what you need to do, create a file name inside src, inside app, create store.js. We have actually inside src, we didn't create app folder, we create store folder. And there we create store.js, see? And import configure store API from Redux toolkit. So from Redux toolkit that we have installed, we are actually accepting this configure store function. These are also called API. Whenever something is exposed from the package, it is called API as well. So now we will create a store. So what you need to do, this is a function actually, configure store. We need to call that function. And in that function, this is really, really important. We will pass object having property name reducer. Okay, you know what is reducer now? Reducer was that reducer function that was the first parameter or first argument of use reducer hook, and that was the reducer function, right, in our use reducer hook that we did previously. We saw it yesterday as well with Redux, and this is actually the similar reducer, but the implementation is slightly different and it's really easy as well with Redux toolkit. So configure store, accept this object, and that object is having this reducer as a property, and there we will pass all the reducer. It means we will have multiple reducers in our application. Okay, store is the store will only be one, but we may have multiple reducer, multiple slices. Later we'll see slices as well. All right, that's all. This is what you need to configure a store. This is really simple. You need to just get this configure store from this package and just call that function, pass the object having property name reducer. Currently we are passing empty object, we will pass something here. All right, I think you don't have any question until now. We haven't done anything till now. Instead of just calling this function, passing the empty object actually for the reducer. So this is actually store. This is store. This will contain everything. Everything means every state of your application. So previously we have, if you remember, we have cart context and product context, right? So
Yeah.
we don't need to create multiple store now, cart store and product store. We will merge them two together within the single store. Now we can actually place cart and product store together within this store. We don't have to create multiple provider now. It means, if you remember previously, we created multiple provider, right? Let's go there. We have, what was the name of the application? React TypeScript. And in there, if you go to main.tsx, see, cart provider is here and product provider is here. See, that was the very simple application, only cart application. Imagine if you have e-commerce application, the whole e-commerce website, then you may have 10 or 15 provider. maybe 20, 30 provider. So it will look something like if you have that much amount of provider, then what will happen is it will actually look something like we already saw this actually structure previously while we are discussing about promises as well. So this is called callback hell actually once again. So this kind of structure, and finally we will render app here. So if you use context, it will become something like this. It will be really hard to actually understand. This will have different name. Actually track which card is which provider is related to which context. So actually to make it really simple, we will just now use a single provider. We'll now just use a single provider, and that will come from store. We will not use multiple provider. That's why we actually said that we will be only using a single store. Right? So where will that provider come from? It will now come from a package called uh, React Redux actually. So let's go and see in our node modules if we have that React Redux or not. I think we don't need to install, but we'll see first. Node underscore modules. So see this with this pnpm, we don't have other packages that we reused. So only the currently installed packages are here. So you can see here, now we have already created a store. Let's export this store so that we can use it. Export this store. And now we will go all the way down. Now what we need to do, we need to create a provider similar to our context. So where do I need to go to actually sign provider or to create provider, to use provider? We don't actually need to create as well provider. We can simply use it. But where should I go to use the provider? On which file? There are
Is it
apps css, app css. Yeah.
index.js?
Yeah, but we don't have that, right?
Oh, yeah, not now.
Wait.
Tomorrow.
main.jsx.
Yeah. We can go to main.jsx right here in this file. So if you are using create react app, then you will have this file name called index.js. But with this wait, you can go to main.jsx and just use that provider. So see here, it is using this provider from this package called React Redux. Okay, so we haven't actually installed it. I just assume that it will be already there. But if you are using some package, if you are importing something from some package, then you need to install it. So let's go and install it. npm I, and name of the package is React Redux. See, I told you we will not be using React Redux, but we are using provider from React Redux. But other things we will use from Redux Toolkit. We are just using provider. Internally, Redux Toolkit also use React Redux. They are built by the same team. So we will use provider from React Redux. So let's first install React Redux then. So React Redux is installed. Now what you need to do is just import it. Import what? Import provider. Why why we installed React Redux? To use provider. Provider is actually provided by React Redux package. So we don't actually need to create provider as well. We can simply write import provider from React Redux, right? React Redux. Now you know how to use this provider, right? Similar to context, we need to wrap this app with the provider. And we will not be using multiple provider. We will have this one and only single provider in Redux. Okay, we will not have cart, product, two provider. We will only use single provider here. And that's all. Now, if you remember, with context API, we used to write value here, right? Why we wrote value after provider in context API? Do you remember?
That's the value that will pass down, right?
Yeah, that is the value that will pass down to all the components, all the React components. Now, instead of writing value, we will write a store here with Redux. And we will actually supply our store. Where is our store? Our store is already created here. We need to just export. We have already exported it. We need to just import it here now. We can just write store, which is coming from this store folder. And the file name is also store. And this is the setup we only need in Redux. This is really simple. And we will not come here and add provider later. We will not come here and update the store later. That's all. We will not touch this file now. We will go and do something in store.js. All right. Yeah, is this fine until now? Any question?
Do you create a store folder separately and a configure store folder?
Yeah. What was your question?
Like I see in my cloned version, I don't see that configure store and store. Do I have to separately create a store?
Yeah. I didn't wrote there, right? That's why you need to write it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can just do that right now. Maybe I'll wait for a minute.
Okay.
Then we can start together.
Just create a
So
store
guys, you need
folder.
to just write this code in your store.js file, and you need to wrap with the provider here. That's all you need to do. Maybe you can do it right now. Let me just show you the code. Store on the left, and on the right you will have this main.jsx. Okay, first you need to actually configure store. Okay, configure store, and then use this store. Let me make it full screen. First configure your store and use this store here in main.jsx.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll take some time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for everybody else so that we can put together. So if there is any question, then we can discuss as well. Let me just wait for a few more seconds, then we can start together. All right, so I think we can now continue, right? Let me commit this code as well to GitHub. This is initial store setup. See? Now um, we need to actually use this store. Actually, we haven't actually supplied some state, right? You know how we used to supply state from context? We used to create a state with use state hook, right? Do you remember? We used to create a state from use state hook and then we supply it through value prop, right? Am I correct? But here the concept is slightly different. So we will now create slices with Redux Toolkit. Okay, let me make it smaller. Move it on the right. Do I have this here? Okay. Concept is slightly different, and we have done until now, until here. So now what you need to do is create a slice. Okay. So for that, we haven't created React component yet. We are still doing something related to Redux. Okay, now we will create some slices. Usually in the React application, you will see a folder name called features, something like this. And in there, you will have different features. Like one feature is related to, let's say user is trying to type something here and post it by typing something and clicking on the button, you will post it on the screen. Then what will we do? We will actually what we will actually do there is we will deal with two situations. One is related to user, one is related to printing something written on the text field there. What I am trying to say is we will have two slices there. One is related to user and another is related to post, let's say user slice or post slice. So then you can create two different folders here as well. Users and then let's say post. Okay, let's just worry about this user person. You can just create user slice. This is just a name, okay? User slice.js. And here we will actually create slice. So see, how can we create slice? We can just import create slice from the Redux.js toolkit. Okay, previously we imported configure store. Now we are importing create slice. See here. So how can we use this create slice? Here is example. So this is counter slice. Now we have user slice. Now what I will write is user slice equals to create user slice, we need to use this create slice function that we just imported. And in there, once again, we will pass object, and object will have property name. Exactly, property name should match. Okay, we need to write exactly same name. First one is name. You will have some value, and second property name is reducers. Okay, just remember reducers. And other property name will be also there, but let's not worry about that. These two are required actually. Otherwise, we cannot actually create a state and make it available in our store. So this is the name. Name can be something which we will access sometimes later from React component. Let's say user. Okay, you can write user or users if they are multiple. So reducer, this is really important person, and this is where our code will be we'll write slightly more code here in reducers. Means previously we used to write reducer function somewhere else, right? For by using Redux toolkit, we can actually create multiple reducer within this reducers property. Then we need to once again create object, and then here we will create reducers. Okay, so and here I just missed one thing, initial state as well. So we need to actually also provide initial state as well. Okay, that initial state can be something that is declared somewhere else. Maybe once initial state equals to something like, let's say, empty array for now. Later we may have something more. And reducers. Okay, see here, reducers also contain functions. One function is increment function, another is decrement function, increment by amount function. We have multiple functions here. So we will create some functions and then we will export it from here. Okay, we'll export it. And then so let me just import this user slice to just show you what is this user slice, what does it look like. So what I just want to do is, this is just optional, later we'll delete it. I'm going inside app.jsx, I'm removing everything from there and create a simple functional component or RAFC to create arrow function. So I just want to import this this user slice from feature. So here inside feature, inside users, we have user slice, we have exported it. You can directly import it, right? So let me write user slice here. So let me see what is there inside user slice. So user slice, I'm going to just directly console log this user slice that is imported from our. Okay, then we will see it on our terminal, on the console. I think I haven't actually started the server. Let me go and do npm dev. Okay, let me go to inspect. Just want to go to console. See here, what is this user slice? Actually, user slice is an object, right? Object. See here, it contains actions. It contains something called case reducers, get initial state, and it also contains name here. And it has some field for reducer as well. Okay, so yeah, this is actually the user slice. User slice is containing something called actions. Okay, and if I provide initial state, let me go here, and let's say that initial state contains, let's say two objects. Okay, two objects. First object is containing, let's say ID 1, and let's say name is Alex. The second object is containing ID 2 and name is Laxman, let's say. Okay, this is initial state. Let me save it now. And as soon as I save it, it will expand it here. And let's see here in actions, we still don't have anything. And that will actually come from this reducer because we haven't done anything in reducer. That's why nothing is here. But let me go to reducer here, and still we have reducer, but not able to see any state here. So then there is something different to actually get the state. So what we will do is, for now, we have already exported this user slice, right? So we will just export this reducer as well, because we have this reducer. I'm just searching for state here, but it is not available. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to export it from here, because we will be using it in React component. So I can just write export default if I just want to export this one only. So what I want to export is, first let me see where is it available. It is available in user slice. In user slice, we have a field called reducer. See here, reducer. So this is the user, this is the reducer of the user. So I can just save it in some variable. I can say user reducer. This is not actually use reducer. Okay, this is user reducer. And I'm going to just export it now. User reducer here. And then it is exported from here. Now I'll go to React component. This is the part until now related to Redux. Okay. Now we haven't done anything here. We'll do the similar thing later. Now let's go to React components. We already have a component here. So later we'll create more components there if required. So that's why let me delete it then. Here is the React component. Let me come here and let's actually get this user reducer in our React component. Okay, so I can just simply write user reducer and it is imported now. We don't need user slice, we only need user reducer. Okay, I imported that reducer. So reducer from this slice. So let's see the documentation, how we can actually consume it. See, it is exported from here, reducer. You can do it this way as well. Okay, otherwise you need to just you can just store it in some variable and you can export it, or you can directly export this portion as well. All right, so now this is actually, once again we need to go to store.js. So we missed this portion because we created this reducer and it is not linked with this store, right? It is not linked with this store. So we need to actually say to our store that, hey, there is a slice that you need to actually make sure it is available to you so that you can send it to React components. Then you need to come here and write the uh, uh, reducer name, and that is users. And the reducer is that we are uh, accepting from there is that user reducer. Okay, we'll do something on our component. We don't need to actually right now import it here. We'll do something different there, but we need to first import it here. This is the user reducer. It is coming from our store, sorry, slice. So now our store is aware of our slice there. Now we will not import user reducer here. We'll directly import store because we want to, we said already that we will have a single store and from there we will take some state, right? Until now, is everything fine? Guys, any question until now?
What are user reducers again?
User reducer. So user reducer will actually manipulate your state. These are the reducer function. We haven't written anything here. We can write something like, let's say inside reducer, if you want to increment, you may write increment function there, and that will be a function itself.
Okay.
And from here, we will manipulate this state. So reducer are those things previously as well in use reducer hook. They will change the state, right? They will process your state and give you a new state. But currently we don't have anything here. We will add those things, okay?
Okay. And
Yeah.
and create slice. Create slice is something that is given to us, right? It's not some sort of function that we created on our own.
Yeah, it is already provided by this
Okay.
package.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, any question, other question, guys? If you have,
Hi, Gulak. I
maybe
have
we,
one issue. Can I share my screen?
yeah, sure, sure. Let's see, and then we'll work together.
Can you see my screen? It says a mapping from Excel
Maybe you missed comma there. Can you see above
Oh,
after initial state? Yeah.
oh yeah, that's a very simple fix.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So, all right. And here, what we are doing is we are letting our store aware of our states. Hey, I have this initial state. Maybe I can manipulate those states from reducers. So you need to actually make sure which reducer I am using. I'm using this reducer, user reducer. That's why remember my reducer name. This is what we are doing here. Okay, we are letting our store aware of our state as well as the name of the reducer from by doing this, by just writing reducer name here in our store. This is the topmost file that we have is a store, and we are letting our we are actually making sure to this store that we are using this user reducer. That is actually the reducer that we are using. Okay. Okay, yeah, you can say users reducer. Maybe that will remove some confusion regarding that user reducer. Okay, users reducer. Okay. So then what? What to do after then? We have already completed this stuff as well. So let's go all the way down. Now, finally, we'll come to your React components. Finally, we can actually use those state in our React component. Let's see how. Finally, we will come to app.jsx, and there, once again, we will use a hook already provided. That's why we don't need to do anything more here. Everything is provided by Redux. We are using especially two packages here. One is React Redux. Another one is Redux Toolkit, right? So we will use selector and use dispatch hook from React Redux. And we will just get this from our slice. We'll get this variable from our slice, this counter slice. So these are something coming from counter slice. So let's see how can we do this in app.jsx. It means we need to use this name and this name. Why is it required? Let's see. Let's only import this use selector. What we can do is import something from React Redux once again. React Redux. And that something is the hook name use selector hook. And this use selector hook will actually give you the state. Remember use context hook previously in our context. To get some state from context, we used to use context hook, right? Now with Redux, we'll use selector hook. Okay, inside use selector hook, we need to actually do something here, and we need to pass something, and then we will get this state here. But what should we do here? We need to pass a callback function, and that will be automatically called, and we need to return something. And this callback function will get the overall state that you have in your application. The state that you have in your application. Let me just send that state here. These are the same name. You can say this is like currently we have already only the state related to user here. So let me just write users. Let's see what is this users thing. Let's go to our app and see users is nothing, but it is an object that contains the name. See, where is this name coming from? Is this the name? Let me just remove this, change this name. For example, uh, uh, let me just make it user for now. See, this is the value coming from here, actually users. So this is coming from here, and this user contains the state coming from this user reducer. Where is this coming from? User reducer. It is coming from this file, user slice file, user reducer, right? User's reducer is a part of user slice, and user slice contains this state, and that's why we have this state here. See, we have an array of user having two objects. These are the initial state that we created here. And this is how we actually accept a state in our React component using use selector hook. Okay. And how to use selector hook? You need to just, this is the overall state. Okay. If you have another state, then it will also contain another name there. What I mean by another state, let me just do that here. Okay. This is related to users. Let's do the same thing here. Now, can you assist me? How can I create post slice? What should I need to do? First, I need to create post slice.js. Then what should I do here to create post slice? How can I create a slice? First, I need to import something, right?
Let's
Create
create
slice.
slice.
Okay, so create slice. You can directly start writing. It is not coming. CREAT. Then it the name same. Create the slice. I'm expecting it to auto actually suggestion from VS Code. That's fine. Let's import it. Import create slice. From where? From
Redux.js toolkit.
Redux.js toolkit. That's right. And then what do we need to do? Use this create
Maybe
slice. Is this a function, right? Call it. And then what should we need to pass there?
Initial
object.
state reducers.
Yeah. Object. So let's pass object here. Then inside that object,
The keys of initial state and reducers.
yeah, property, you can say object have property, right? That is initial. The first one is, how many properties will we write here?
3.
3. The first one is
Name.
name. Okay. So name may be anything. Let's say we are doing things like related to post. We will not directly use it. We'll see later in the dev tool as well. Post. And another one is another property that we'll be using.
Post ID. Initial state.
Yeah, initial state. Initial state. So you can directly create initial state here as well, but you may have initial state in some other file. That's why you can just create here. Initial state equals to, let's say, this is again array of object. Let's say, let me just create 2 object once again, 2 object. And the first object will contain ID, let's say 1. And now we are posting something. Maybe we have title here. Title, let's say this is just initial title, initial test title. And maybe we will write something more later. For now, I'll just make this 2, ID2 once again. And title is, so this one is like second title, let's say, for now. Okay, later we will actually change it. These are just initial value. You can write empty value, initial value as well. It means it will not be available initially. So yeah, initial state is done. You don't need to write initial state twice, right? In modern JavaScript, if you have the same name, then you can just write initial state and then initial state will take this value. Otherwise, if you have like state here, initials only, then you need to write initials here. Okay, you understand? Yeah. So let me remove it. Then another one. What is another property that we have?
Reducer function.
Yeah, reducers. This is just a property name, reducers. So in there, what is this reducers actually? Is it a function, or is it an array or object? Yeah, you can go here. See, reducers, empty object, right? For now, it means it is object. So object here. So in that object, we will create multiple reducers. So let's say we have like, we'll create multiple reducer function. Okay, let's say reducer function 1. In this way, we'll create multiple reducer function 2 or 3, as much as required. Okay, we are going to come here. Okay, that's why it is empty for now. Then finally, what should we need to do? We need to export something from here.
Just the reducer?
Yeah, let's export. Let's actually store it in some variable like const, say post slice. And from this post slice, we will make a default export. From post slice, we will get reducer, right? So we are going to export it. So yeah. And then
post slice has reducers as in plural, right? So does it need to be reducers as opposed to just reducer?
No. This is not a part of post slice. This is a property that is inside create slice. This is not post slice. Okay. So post slice only contains reducer. Previously I console logged that, and we saw there we have reducer. Yeah. Yeah, don't be confused. This and these are different. And okay, then what should we need to do after then? After exporting from here?
We'll use the post slice reducer wherever we want to use the state of the initial state here.
It means, can I get this state from React component now? From here?
Yes.
So, but if I refresh it, I'm still getting users only. I don't have post slice. Because this is the only store that we have. There are no two store. It means only single state. We'll only be having single state. We missed one part actually. After creating a slice, after exporting something from slice. Remember previously?
Yeah, configuring the store.
Right. Need to go here and actually mention, actually let this store know about our slice, post slice. Otherwise, it will not give that post slice to us. Right? We need to write post or post if you have multiple. Then name of our slice. So this is actually not what you will import. With default export, you can rename it, right? What you can do is, let me copy paste, and you can write like post reducer from feature slash post slash post slice. You can rename it, okay? You can write whatever you want here with default export. Now you can just write here post reducer. Now if I save it now, see, now we have users and posts. Can you see it? Users and posts are here with different data, right? So in this way, we will always have a single state.
Gorak,
But
I have a
if you,
question.
yeah.
Can you
Sure,
explain line number 4 in app.jsx?
this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm just doing that. So what I'm saying is, we will always have a single state. We'll always have a single state. This state will contain all the available values, you can say. This will contain all the available slices value, you can say. The value coming from different slice. They will all be available here in this state. Means we just want, what we are doing here is we are using use selector hook. Use selector hook from React Redux. Previously, we used to use context hook from context, right? But here with Redux, we use selector hook from React Redux. Then that hook will actually accept this function, callback function, right? This is a callback function, isn't it? This is a simple arrow function. And as a parameter, we can write anything here. Anything means simply anything. You can type anything here. And this anything will have that entire store value. Means I can return anything as well. Okay, this anything variable will store entire store value, and that will be now stored in this users variable. Usually developer used to write state here because that is the entire state, right? State. But see, I just want users state, but I am getting users as well as host state here, right? Why is that actually? Why am I getting all the state here? Because I told you this will contain the entire state that we have, entire store. It is really simple, right? If this state is containing the overall store, how can I only get these users from there? Overall store is actually object. Now I just want to get users. What should I do?
Destructured object.
Yeah, destructure it, but you can directly do it right here as well. Just return state.users. It will work as well, right? Because previously I'm actually exporting all the things from there, or returning all the state. Now I'll only return things related to users. Now if I save it now, see, I'm only getting things related to users, right? So this is how we use Redux and get state, actually get required state. We will not get entire state. We will just, this is the entire state, and this is what we need, state.users. All right, now we have users here. If you have something available, then you can simply use it, right? Maybe users is an array. What we can do is, this is now implementation part. This is now JavaScript actually. Now you can do users.map, and in this map method, you can simply get is and every item and simply return something, let's say h1 tag. I want to write h1 here. This is, yeah, this is actually a single user, and single user is having name as well. So what I can do is, once again go to JavaScript user.name, but it will also require key as well. Currently I don't have any. Yeah, I have ID as well. Okay, in key I can use user.id, and by writing this command, this line here, you'll get user on your screen, right? And this is how we actually get users from our Redux store. Sorry,
I
state
have a
from our
question.
Redux store. That state may be users or anything else. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Gaurav, where do we have ID?
Yeah, user contains this object, right? This object, it contains ID and name.
Oh, okay, that's
We
right.
are mapping
And
users
then,
array.
okay,
Yeah.
and then can you explain the key thing? Key is just how to access those.
Yeah, key is actually required by React. If you remove this key portion and save it, you'll get a warning on the console. See? You need to
Okay.
write key. So this is required for React to easily understand how many h1 are created here. There are two h1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And React need to actually locate this h1 on the screen, whether they are there on the screen, if somebody deleted it, or if we add some more h1, then it needs to just remember their previous location on the screen on the DOM. That's why we need to actually provide this key value prop for React only. We will not use it. We are actually helping React to understand our h1.
Okay, so it's just a way to key is kind of like ID in a sense.
Yeah, key should always be unique actually. That's
Okay.
why ID is always unique, right?
Yeah.
So different object will have different ID. That's why I'm using ID here. Otherwise, if you have different things, then you can, instead of writing ID here, you can write the different value. But if you write the same value, such something like this static value, then you'll once again get warning. You cannot use same key
Uh-huh.
because this map function is generating two h1, right? From users. Users is an array containing two objects. It will map and generate two h1. So
Okay.
two h1 cannot contain same key. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. So like if we had two names, you couldn't use that single key for both names.
Right. Because we are mapping, it will generate as many h1 as required from this users array. Users array containing two elements right now, two
Yeah.
objects. That's why it will generate two h1. If there are 10 objects, then it will generate 10 h1, and then will be 10 different key for those 10 h1.
Okay, and then it would just be that line 9, just copy and paste it over and over again.
Yeah, it will do. It will. This is actually a loop. Map is a loop. It will iterate it over. Yeah,
Okay.
it will do
Can
that
we
thing.
try something like if we add another name to the what file was it? The store, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Uh
we are using user store here,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So okay. So if we added like an ID 3,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
that and then if we go back to app.jsx,
Yeah. For example,
that
let's
line will
say,
still print out the third name.
yeah, let me write Mokon, and if I save it, it should print the
Okay.
value added here. Yeah.
Well, what if you want only one name? So say you don't want like the first and second, and you only want to print the last name. Would you have to just set the ID equal to 3?
Yeah, if you want, then there are two ways. Maybe you can update your state from reducers, that we will do, but you can directly filter this here from here.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, let's say if you just want the third name, always the third name, if you have only three elements there, then maybe you can do it in this filter as well. But you can just write a single h1 because third name means always one h1, right? One
Mm-hmm.
h1 for this name. Only one h1 is required. Then we don't need loop at that time. You can simply write single h1 there, h1, and here you need, we don't need key as well for single h1. Key is
Uh-huh.
required for map.
Okay.
So you can directly write, we have users already,
Mm-hmm.
users, and you want the third element means 2, right? Index number 2, 0,
Okay.
1, 2. Yeah, and then just write title here, and then we will only get the third element.
Why
Let's
title?
say because, oh, uh, this third element, if I just access it, then what is there in users 2?
Like say name?
Users 2 is an object, isn't it? Users 2, let me
Uh-huh.
just comment it. And this 2 means 0, 1, 2. This is the third element, right?
Okay.
This is object. So we are accessing object here. Users
I
and
see.
2 means the object. And that object contains the property called name, right?
Okay.
But yeah, now it is printed.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, this is just printing something on the screen. You can write some logic here itself in the map method, or yeah, you can do it however you want after getting those values here in your React component. All right, so anybody else, anything, any
Um,
questions?
Correct. My users seems to be undefined. Do you know what could be the problem?
Right now or in your case?
In my case,
Oh, okay. your users are undefined.
Yeah, can I share my
Maybe
screen?
you, yeah. Let's see.
Okay. Um, here,
Okay, yeah, undefined, right. The users are undefined. Let's go to your code and let's go to user slice. Maybe initial value is not linked, I think.
hang on. It is going to double window, but so that's
Yeah, you can click on user slice on the right window, on the right side or on the left side. Yeah, you are already in the user slice. That's right. Fine. Okay. So yeah, here, let's see initial state. Okay. So this is fine. Can you go to your, yeah, you are already there. Okay. In the store, you are actually accepting user reducer. Okay. And now, can you go to app.jsx on the right tab? Maybe you can click on app.jsx there.
yes.
Yeah. So, oh, you wrote curly brace there. See, you need to return actually. On line number 6, after writing curly brace, you need to return on line number 7. Otherwise, just remove that curly brace. It will auto return. The arrow
Oh, this
function will
one?
auto return. Yeah.
Yeah, I see now. Okay. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
just,
you need to either remove or just write return. Yeah, that will work.
okay. Yeah, it's yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, so this is really simple, right? Instead of using context, I actually explained context to you. I used context in previous application just to practice few more things in React itself. But context is not what we will be using most of the time. Most of the time, we will be using something called Redux Toolkit. Or maybe there are other state management libraries as well. You can just explore. What are the other state management library similar to Redux in React? You can just research about it as well. If you know how to use a single state management called Redux, then you can just go through others as well easily. Okay, the flow is really simple now. You need to create some slice, you need to link to the reducer, and you need to come to your React component, use selector hook from React Redux, and that use selector hook will automatically get the state, and you need to get whatever state you need. For example, how can I get post state here? Let's say I just want to access posts and want to print posts here. For example, after the name, I want what are the posts created by this user. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I just want to, let me just do it here.
Gorak, you are not
Put it in.
sharing your screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Sometimes I forget. Okay, just remind me. Thank you for that. Here, what I'm trying to do here is I just want to print. Currently, I have name only. After name, I just want to print the information of the post by this user. So how can I do this? For example, in the UI, I cannot create multiple tags. I need to wrap it in the fragment first. Then I need to first print the name of the user. Then I will print like in p tag, let's say the title, post title. So test post by each and every user, let's say, and see it is complaining now. why don't you actually have key there? We need to actually have key. So let's wrap it in the div tag and give it a key. So key will be user, let's say user dot id here. Okay, div here as well. Okay, so now we just want test titles here. Where are our titles, or where are our information related to post? In post, right? Currently, I'm just getting users here, right? Maybe, yeah, users here currently. If I remove these users, and if I save it now, it will crash, that's fine. But we just want to see what is coming here. Here we have posts as well as users, right? Posts as well as users means, so what I can do is dot users will only get the users. Now we want, they are actually not connected. That's why I am only mapping users. That's why users do not have any post currently because they are not connected. But right now I will do on the other line. Now what I want to do is I want to map posts here. But I don't have posts currently. But if I have post, what I can do is posts array, then I can get each and every post from there and get the ID and get the title as well, poster title. See, there is no TypeScript. That's why we don't have any issue currently. But if there was TypeScript, then we'll see multiple warnings or errors there. So I recommend you to use TypeScript with Redux as well. So to save time, we are not using TypeScript here. So now this is not here. How can I get post as well? Can I get posts as well?
You need to destructure state.
Or you can do
Oh,
state dot posts use selector.
right. You mean remove users from here, right?
Yeah.
Destructure it here, right?
Mhm.
Users as well as posts. Now will it work? We are mapping posts. Post is an array. We are mapping it. We are printing the title. This should work, right? Let's style it. Let's say we can write inline style guys as well, right? In our React component, for example, if you write style, you need to write two curly braces, right? This is the object. First one is for JavaScript. Let's say we have color that is red, and let's use the similar style. This is not a good practice to write inline style. Most of the time we'll be using a style component, but for now, just want to see. Now the title of users should be in red color. Title of post should be in blue color. Let's see. See, these are the users, and this is the title. Where is this coming from? This is coming from post slice here. Okay, if you increase the title now, title 3, and it will also come here. All right, in this way, we will consume the state available in our slice. We have talked about consuming state available in our slice, but let's say I just want to modify. Let's say that I just want to delete this state, or let's say I just want to add something on this title or manipulate this title. Then I'll do those things from the reducer here. That's why we will write multiple reducer functions. All right, so let's take a quick break, and then can we continue to the reducer portion after break? What do you think, everyone? Will it work?
Yes, correct.
It's good.
Okay, then let me commit at this point. so that you can also clone it. We are getting Redux state in components, React component. Now we'll manipulate this state from reducer. Okay, so I'll meet you after 10 minutes, guys, and then let's continue.
Come on.
All right, hello everyone. Are we here, everybody?
Yes,
Hello. Can we continue then? Peter,
yes, correct.
Krishna, are we here? Yeah. Okay, so now we will do something related to these stuffs. Reducer, which is really important thing. This is where we write our business logic. Business logic means you actually manipulate store manipulate your state from here. You can actually change state, or add or remove something from state from here. Okay, you will actually change this states from here. Not they not be necessary always be the initial state. You can change existing states as well. Okay, so if you go to the documentation once again, let's see if I can remove it. This, okay. If you see here, it is, we used use selector, right? Now we need to use dispatch. Are you familiar with the term dispatch? Dispatch? We used it sometimes previously in, where did we use? Do you remember?
To increment and decrement the counter.
Okay, and what is that dispatch then?
To execute the action. Do I say?
Yeah. But what is that dispatch? Is it object, function, array? What is that?
It's a function.
It's a function. It's the state updating function simply, right?
State updating function. Yeah.
We got it from use state hook. It is the second element of the array, right? One is state, another one is set state. We renamed set state and called it dispatch. Okay, and with use reducer hook, dispatch, once you pass something from dispatch, where will it go in use reducer hook?
Use state.
Will it directly update the state? Here we have like dispatch, we renamed this use state with dispatch. Now,
It will go
once you
to
pass
the
something,
reducer first.
yeah, once you pass something in the dispatch, it will go to the reducer. If you see here, once again in your state management, in the reducer person, you will receive dispatch here as action, right? In the reducer. Once you dispatch something, once you pass something in the dispatch, then it will come here. And it will also get the state. You can say it previous state, because we are updating this state from here. Okay, so this is the state. We will also get a state there and action there. Similar approach we will follow here as well. So then see here, where are we using dispatch? In our store or in our React component? Where are we using it? In our React component, right? This is a React component, isn't it? So just imagine the picture in your mind that we have one location for React component, right? We have one location for slices, and we have one location for the store. So you will actually communicate with the store, right? With the store, you will get something from the store to the React component. React component want, if React component want to change something, you will directly send request to slice, and slice will change something and it will actually update the store. Updating store will be done automatically, right? If you are not able to imagine that flow, let's see Redux toolkit flow. And I think, okay, if I have some animation, that will work. Let me see. I think this is the one. See here, going to this store. Actually, this is the store. So it is processing something here. So it will do those things in the slices. Finally, it will store will update the state. This is your React component UI, and you will send it from the dispatch to your slices. Later we'll discuss about middlewares as well, and it will process it there, process your state, and finally it will update the reducer. The reducer will become your state. The state will contain all the reducers. See, all the reducers are combined here. Currently we have users the reducer and post reducer. So this is the flow actually. So this is your React component. This is what user sees in the real world website, right? Web application, you can say. And they will actually, let's say they click on this deposit $10 button or withdraw $10 button. Essentially, they are creating a dispatch. This dispatch will go to your slices. Slices will contain, they can communicate with API from there as well. Communicating with API will be done through middleware. This is what we haven't done until now. We'll do it eventually, okay? Maybe we can do it tomorrow. But currently what we have is, once the event or once the dispatch is received in your slice, there we have reducer, okay? So reducer will manipulate your state. Reducer will manipulate your state here. So here, right now, this will manipulate your state and it will actually update the global state. And global will, as soon as this global state update is done, this will automatically change in the UI. Okay, so this is the overall flow of using Redux in your React application. All right, so essentially what we did until now, we have some store here, state already. State are coming from reducer initial value, right? We are just getting that state here in the UI with the help of use selector hook. We have only one way communication, getting something from the store only. Now we want to update it as well. Now we will send request to the store as well through the dispatch. So getting something from the state is done with use selector hook. And updating the state is done with the help of this use dispatch hook. Okay, essentially there are two hooks then coming from React Redux, use selector and use dispatch. We have already used use selector. That flow is completed. Now we are going to implement this current flow. Okay, now we are going to send some request to our store. Is this fine, everyone? Maybe we can look at that picture later. Now it means if I go to app.jsx, I can grab use dispatch as well from React Redux. Yes, I can do that. I can simply accept use dispatch. Now, as soon as you accept use dispatch is a hook, right? You can only use hook inside your React component right now. Then you can just paste it and initialize it. You need to just call it. You don't need to pass anything here, okay? And you will store it in some variable called, usually it is written dispatch, but you can write anything here, dispatch. So now we need to call this dispatch from somewhere. Where is that somewhere? It may be some button, let's say. Let me add this button then here. Button, let's say update store. Something is wrong because I'm inside this map. I need to go outside. So we want to update the store. So what do we want to update? Let's say, so in our store, we have multiple things like that user slice and the post slice. Oh, I think I can't get that back. I need to type it myself. I think it is opening on localhost 5173 port. So once I click on this update store button, I have this update store button here. Once I click here, let's say that this name will change. Let's try to implement it. So how can we do that? We will, when we click, we fire an event called onClick, right? On onClick, what we want to do is, now we want to call this dispatch function. This is a function once again. Use dispatch is also a hook, also a function. This is also a function. Now we need to call that function from here inside this arrow function, because without this arrow function, if I don't write this, it will immediately call it, right? I need to prevent it with this callback function. So this function will be called when I click on this button. Okay, is this fine until now? Now I will pass something here in this dispatch. Okay, now I will pass something. So what is that something then? Once again, this is what we create here now, here in the reducer. Okay, previously, if you see here on the reducer, this documentation has already created this increment, decrement functions. So let's create our one function then. Let's say update title function, update title. You know how to create function inside object? Can you tell me? Can I create function inside object or not? First, can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, how can we do that? So will I just write, let's say arrow function here? Can I write this syntax? Let's say const update title equals this syntax. Create object inside function. Sorry, yeah, to create function inside object actually. Can I do that? Or can I directly write like function and then in this way? Actually, how can we create function inside object?
First, you have to define key, and then in its behavior, you have to write the function.
Right, yeah. Key means the property name, right?
Yeah.
So we need to define property name, and that property name will be the name of the function as well, right? If we write function here.
Yeah.
So if we create function here, let me create an arrow function here. Now update title is a function, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have this update title function. This is the reducer function one actually. In this way, we can create multiple functions. Okay, we can have multiple functions here to do more specific jobs. We'll do that eventually, but let's just use this update title for now. So it will automatically get the state and the action. Similar to use reducer hook, having reducer function which is getting state and action. Now we will manipulate our state from here. So let's say, what is this state? Let me see if I can get something on the console or not. This is a function, guys. This will not run automatically. This is not going to run automatically. This is a function. We need to call it from somewhere. Means we need to send the information of our function from this file first. We need to say that I am a post slice. I have this function. You can use these functions. So that we'll do here. What we will do is, see, from this is the post slice, right? From post slice, we are getting function name update title. So we will just destructure it. Later we can have multiple functions. Currently I just only have one, right? We'll just destructure it. This is the function coming from this post slice. See here from counter slice, there is increment, decrement, increment by amount function. That's why from counter slice here, oh, actually we need to write actions as well, because actually they are inside actions, not directly inside counter slice. Inside counter slice, we have actions as well. If you remember previously, I console logged that previous user slice and we saw actions there. You can try doing it as well. But inside there, we will have actions. And from counter slice, from a post slice dot action, we'll get our functions similar to here. Okay, so yeah, this is the function name. Now we need to export it from here. Export it. Okay, now your component can accept it, right? Now what you can do is you can just say what is the function name? That is update title, right? You can just write Update title, see, this is coming from feature forward slash post slice. You will not write function name here. You will need to know this dispatch, what is the function you want to update. And I want to update this update slice, sorry, update title. Okay. And we will just execute it here. We will call it here, call that function here. See how this is used here. On click event, this increment function is running. This is coming from your counter slice. Similarly, update title is coming from our post slice. Okay, finally, we are able to run this update title from our React component. It means whatever you write here inside this reducer will be called from your React component. Yes. So let's see if we can see in console log the state and the action. Let's see. So we need to go to console. And nothing is here. Why? Nothing is here in the console. Why is that actually?
Because it's an event, click event.
Yeah, it's an event. We need to click on the update store. Then only this dispatch is going to be executed. And then update title will also execute. And then we should get that console log. Let's see. Okay. So we are getting something which is interesting, like state is having this thing called proxy. We'll talk about this thing, don't worry. We are console logging state. It is coming from line number 6. But let's now more be concerned with this action here. So this action is having this payload and the type. See, the type contains the name of your slice post. Okay, so if you write random here, let's say random and save it and click it once again, and you'll see random here. It means this name is used. So it means the action, these are automatically created. Previously, without Redux Toolkit, we need to create those actions ourselves. We need to make some action creators, but here these are already available. Type is already available. We don't need to send the type. So, and we don't have any payload here. We don't have any payload, but we have type. We have type. It means if I send something from here, let's say like let's say this is my payload, paste title, save it, and I'm going to refresh it, update the store, and see, I have my payload now here. So this is really cool then. We can easily get our payload from React component now using this passing something from here. We will try to do that eventually, but let's see what is this state at first. Yeah, any question you want to ask before proceeding? Yeah, we are leaving behind some of the things because we want to go in high level for now. Then we will go in deep dive into those things. So let's go in proxy here. Proxy seems to be having something there, but we are not able to find something, right? We are not able to see anything there. So let's see if we can go directly inside that in user in post slice action. So we actually want to update some action here. Sorry, we want to update some state here with the help of action. And we will take the help of the official documentation how to do that. And they have already provided, mentioned, see here, on clicking, this dispatch is running. And here increment function is running. And what is happening in that increment function? All the way up. Oh, it is directly updating this state. This is really important functionality that is available in Redux Toolkit. in React, you cannot write this kind of syntax. You cannot directly mutate your state. But in Redux toolkit, you can do that. You can mutate your state. So it means inside state we have value. It means inside state as well we have we have array, right? This is array. Maybe let's grab that first value, let's say. And first value is object. Maybe we can get object. I see on the console. If I click here now, see, we are now getting, we are not directly getting the value here. Even if we are trying to accept this state. So even if I try to write title here, okay, now you can see the title. I'm expecting that to be also not there, but we will inspect this thing from a dev tool extension as well. So that is also not done already. We will do that. But right now here, now finally we can access this state. But our job is, our main aim is not to do this here, not to access this state. We want to update this state. So how can we do that? We can simply use this current state. Okay, and then what do you want to do? Current state, and for the current state, we have this is object, and we want to change. Let's say for now, we will be doing this thing manually. Later, we will do it more dynamically. So let's say we want to add something there. We want to push something. So state.push. Currently, I'm going to add one object. Later, I will manipulate this one as well. First one or any of this object. So we want to add something there, and we will push to the state. And in React, actually, it is not good to write this kind of syntax. This will mutate your state, but in Redux toolkit, it's fine. We can use this syntax. State.push, and here we will receive that payload from action, right? So let me send the similar value from our dispatch. So right now, later we will have a form. From there, we will take the value. Right now, I'll directly send it from here. So let's say this is ID4. And this is, let's say, fourth title. Fourth title. And this thing will actually come here inside action. And action will contain payload, right? And that action.payload will update this state now, state.push. This state is not a global state, okay? This state is this state here. Only the state of the slice, not the state of the Redux. So we are just manipulating this state. So now essentially what we are doing here is we are adding one more object from this syntax. Okay, we followed the documentation. So we updated this state. Maybe we can see the changes now. Let's try. Let's try and let's see what will happen in our application. As soon as I click on this update store, it should actually execute this line, this 27, and it should send this this object into our Redux store. So how can it know? Because we have into our Redux slice actually, because we have two slices. How can it know which slice is going to be used? It means where should it actually send this dispatch, because we have that post slice and user slice. Can you just guess how can it know it should use post slice instead of user slice?
It has to check the store configuration.
We need to check it, store configuration.
I mean, the dispatch function should check the store configuration.
Dispatch function. See, on the dispatch, we are providing update title, and it will automatically know where is it coming from, because it is coming from post slice, right? It means update title is a part of post slice. Then it will go and execute post slice. not user slice. Okay, so we are actually using the reducer function of the post slice. That's why it will go and execute that post slice, and we are passing this object. Okay, now finally let's click here. It should go in the post slice. It should update this initial state, and we should see another title added. See, first title is added here after clicking on this update store. So if I once again click, isn't every time same title is added? See, this is how the communication is working. Refresh will actually, we will lose everything because we haven't stored somewhere. But once I click here, let's go once again and explain it. Once I click in this update button, it will just use this dispatch. Where is it coming from? It is coming from React Redux. And we need to pass the reducer function name here. The reducer function name is update title. Where is it coming from? Post slice. That's why it will update post slice, not user slice. Okay, it will update post slice. So if I click here, then it will now add something, some title here. Now tell me, what should I need to do if I want to update user slice? Let's say I want to update this name. Let's say I want to add last name as well here. Or I can add another name here, similar to this title. Maybe I can add another person. Maybe I can have another button called add name, right? Let's say I have a button called add name. So it is not showing. Let me refresh it. Yeah, we have a button name called add name. Now, if I click on this add name button, it should add another name here. So do you think you can do that? Or will you help me how to achieve that result? What should we need to do? You understand what do we need? What do we want actually want to do here?
Yeah, we're adding a name, right?
Yeah, after clicking on that add name button. Currently, we don't have a form. Later, we'll do that complex thing or the additional thing you can say. But right now, we'll pass a static value. And once I click on this add name button, the value that we passed should be added here.
Yeah, so we have to add first we have to define the update name or add name function inside the name slice.
Yeah, that is user slice, right?
Yes, user slice.
User slice, okay. So on which lines we need to do that?
12.
Yeah, inside user, that's right, 12. So we need to, what should we need to make here?
A function.
Yeah, a function. Let's say, let's make a similar function like add name. Okay, so this is a function. This is empty function. So what should I write here? Do I need to write something right now? Or can I update it?
Say initial state dot push dot something.
Yeah. Do not use initial state. Okay, that is just for initial. We will, yeah, you can write initial state here as well, but we will not use this one. We are not adding to the initial state. Okay, so that state can be accessed with any name here. You can write any name, and that is the state that we have. Will not take initial state. Initial state is just there first showing initial value. You can have no initial value at all as well. So there will be nothing. Let's say we don't have anything. Okay, now we want to add some name there. We want to display some name. So we will use the state name from here, not here. Okay, so that state name can be anything. Usually we'll write state here. Yeah, that's great. And then we have state.
And then we'll push the or we'll add the new name using.
Okay, I'm writing this command state.push, and you need to be very concerned with such kind of syntax in React. It is not good habit to use push instead of Redux. If you are using Redux toolkit inside Reducer, that's fine. But in other location, you will not actually directly mutate your array using such kind of syntax most of the time. This is not a good syntax to write. Okay, so yeah, just search for mutation in React. Can I directly mutate state in React? Just search for that question. Maybe you'll get your answer. Okay, so that's why I'm writing state.push. Then you will start writing state.push in use state hook as well. Then that is the good bad practice. But this is not a bad practice here, because Redux toolkit will handle this command for you, this line for you. Okay, so yeah, we want to push something in our array. So how can we do that? Where is that something coming from?
From from the parameter of the function.
Parameter error means we need to accept one more here.
Yes.
Okay, then like action.
Yes.
But you can write any name. Okay, uh,
Yes.
you can write ABCD any name, but it is a good practice to write state and action here. And then push is a function.
And action.
Yeah, action will actually get those things in payload, right? By default. But payload may contains object as well, complex object as well. But for now, we will receive here in the payload. What I mean is, if you just want to update the name text there, maybe you can just get action.payload.text or name, something like that. But payload is object, what we want to store here, right? Are you getting what I am saying?
Yes.
Yeah, payload may contain something more as well. Maybe sometimes you need to extract it. I mean, sometimes let's say you just want name from the payload, then you need to do this thing here. Okay, action.payloads maybe. Sometimes if you want name, you can write any logic. I am not saying you will write a single line. You can write 10, 15 lines here in this add name function to actually make function however you want. But right now we are making it as simple as possible. So we are just accepting payload and sending it to our state or updating our state. Okay. Is that all, or do we need to do something more?
Now we need to dispatch this reducer function.
From component, right? App component.
Yes.
Yeah. So online, where we need to do that?
32.
Yeah, here. Okay. So what do we need to do?
We'll just like we can copy paste the line in line number 27, and
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of update
good.
title, we'll do update name.
Really easy. Yeah. Okay. Now, instead of update title, what should I need to write?
Add name.
Update name. So is update name available? Can I update name? I cannot see update name coming from anywhere. I think we need to do something more in slice.
Import and export it.
Yeah, export it. Previously we did it here on our post slice, but we need to do it here as well. So we need to export that name. So export that add name here. Add name from where? From user slice dot actions. Now we can write add name. So what is happening here? Oh, this should be in some variable.
Why actions are the stuff that pertains to functions.
Yeah. Can you repeat your question, please, once again?
What
What is your
what
question?
like I thought like so it seems like this is different sort of actions, right? Action is Like my question
Yeah.
was, what were the actions?
Yeah, these are created by this create slice function. See, create slice is a function. Once again, function will return something, right? Function can return something. This function is accepting this argument and it will return user slice here. User slice is object actually.
Yes.
Whatever this function returning is object, and that object is containing action property, and that action will contain these things, these names.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you can see sometime. For example, let's say, are we using user slice somewhere here? User slice importing? No. So you can just console log here, for example, or we have exported this user slice as well. You can directly console log in your app.js. For example, let's say I want to console log user slice here. Let's say, what is this user slice? And if I save it, we go to console. See, user slice is an object, contains action. See, what is this action? Action is containing this add name function that we have written here. So user slice is containing actions. That's why we are writing user slice dot actions. And from that actions, we are getting add name. Okay. Later, if you write another function like remove name, and then we will do state dot pop. And then we will get another function called remove name in that actions. See, now we have remove name. And user slice dot action, from that user slice dot action, we will just actually send this remove name if we need as well. Okay, is this fine?
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Yeah, it will be more clear, make more sense if you try to do it once again yourself. So essentially what we are doing is we are actually letting our React component know what are the functions that we are using inside our reducer. What are the reducer functions available? So add name is available now. I can now directly use add name here. It will show me auto suggestion, auto import. We need to import it as well, right? Add name. So it is coming from user slice. See, on the top it has imported. Add name, user slice. So we don't need user slice actually. We only need add name. Remove it from here. So finally, we will send object. The replica will be similar. The schema should be similar to the initial value. So initial value was containing like ID and name, right? Let's send the similar one, ID and name, and that name is containing, let's say, now let's add something like Alex once again. So this is what we are sending from here. Okay, now on dispatch, on click, we'll send the dispatch. Payload will be this object. This payload is received here inside action. And we are actually using this payload, updating our state. Okay, updating our state. So this state is initially it will be empty. Now it is updating this state. It will add something in that empty state. And we should see the name here now. So will it work or are we missing something there? What do you think? It will work?
Did we import the slice, post slice in
Oh,
app?
okay, maybe. Yeah. Let's go there. So we need to import user slice. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, seems like we did. There is already the line called import add name.
Yeah, add name is already here. And is use selector able to select users as well?
Yes. Yes, because we have destructured it, and it's just like straight up straight state.
And what is this state? Is it user state or post state?
Both of them.
Yeah, it will contain all of this state. This is the global state actually. The store you can also say. So from that store, we are getting users and posts. It seems like it should work, right?
Yes.
After clicking on add name, let's see. Click on add name. See, it is added here. So once we click on add name, we are essentially sending the dispatch to our user slice. User slice is having a function. That function is updating the state. All right, so that's all. That's all regarding Redux Toolkit. Now I think you can create a simple form, input form, that will take your input. And once you click on that button, it should print whatever you typed on your screen, right? Instead of sending static dispatch from here now, you will send your input text. Do you think you can try it? I think you didn't understand, right? What I tried to say. Like you can create a simple form tag, right? Form tag. So you don't need to specify action. And maybe you have input, right? And let's say in this placeholder, enter enter title, something like this. See here, enter title. And once you click here, once you write something here, so my title, you need to have a button as well. Let's say, so let's say submit, and see here submit. Once you click here on the submit button, it should actually print whatever you have typed here on the screen. Do you think you can do it or try it at least yourself?
Yeah, we will try, Gaurav.
All right, so then maybe we will deal with something more here tomorrow. Maybe you can write something more here on the reducer section. And tomorrow we will complete it as well. And maybe we will start thunk. Thunk is related to that picture. Remember that picture? Previously we saw this one. See? How can we call API from our Redux? And that is our question. That is our problem that we have. We need to call API from our Redux. These are related to something called middleware. And that is related to thunk, Redux thunk. Okay. So we will communicate with API. We will create some middleware. Rest of the flow is still the same. We will add this thing tomorrow as well. All right. So that's all for today, I think. Maybe we can discuss for a few more minutes. Still have some time. And then in this session, maybe you can ask me some questions. Yeah, you can ask me some general questions as well. Until then, let me commit it.
Kuruk, in our project, when like, would it be fine if we decide to go with use context if it's just about like 2 or 3 variables and not many like uh, states to deal with?
Yeah. For example, later you will start imagining yourself once you start practicing this kind of stuffs. For example, you will see how many features in our application do I have. Let's say that you have simple blog application, your blog website. So what are the features that you want in your blog website? It depends upon the feature that you want. If your features are increasing, for example, you want a text editor where you want to edit, then you will use CRUD functionality. Okay, so these are all features: update, create, read, and delete. Then maybe if as long as the features are increasing, You need to increase the amount of context that you have in your application. You will increase the context. So it means from 2, the context will become 3, 4, 5, 6. Context will become more and more. And if there are less than 5 context, I think it's also fine to use context in your React application. But if you are seeing a lot of context, means you are having a lot of features in your application. Means your application is actually not a small application. It is actually a little bit big application. At that time, it is better to use Redux instead of using context. Okay, so it depends upon what is your requirement, how many features do you want, how minimal or how big is your project. So yeah, for a small project, context is fine, but for medium to large project, you can use Redux and it will actually help you a lot.
And also,
Yeah, you can
there,
use Redux as well for a small project as well. Yeah, yeah. Please, you're asking something?
yes, I was just saying there seems to be like some sort of relationship between use reducer hook and Redux, right? Because
Yeah,
like there,
actually,
there
this is every time when you use some package, they abstract away some of the concept from us. So currently we are using React as well. This is abstracting JavaScript from us, right? We are not writing JavaScript stuff directly. We are writing React stuffs here. Means behind the scene, they will use the same concept. So, but they are abstracting those things from us. So this React Redux toolkit package as well, behind the scene using that reducer and context itself. So it is using it is because without it, it cannot actually implement in React, right? So it is used behind the scene, but we don't have to really directly deal with use reducer hook now. We'll not write it. Instead of writing use reducer hook, we will create reducer in this way, and we will directly get state and action here. And we will use slice. It means it is making our life easier. Redux Toolkit is providing another functionality. Hey, instead of using use reducer hook and context API, here I have created a really simple function for you called create slice. I am using context and use reducer internally, but you don't have to. You use this simple function to implement those functionality. So yeah, this is what happens when you use packages and libraries. You will not see what is happening behind the scene, and most of the things are abstracted from you. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad as well. So sometimes if you want to learn something, like if you want to learn how to fetch data from API, then instead of using Axios package, you can use fetch function directly available to your by your browser, to your web API uh, in your browser. So yeah, if you want to deep dive into some of the things, then it is good to use it yourself, write the functionality yourself. But if you know how it is working, then you can use the popular packages which are already available there and just implement the functionality feature on your project. Okay, so yeah, any more question, guys? I think this is the last week of the bootcamp. I just got to know yesterday, but we will extend it. We'll extend one more week, I think, because we need to do something more as well. We need to create a small application maybe. We need to familiarize something called Next.js. And just remind me, maybe I have missed some of the important topics. I have intentionally actually not covered some of the stuffs which are not essential, as well as some of the basic stuffs. Like I haven't gone into CSS in more detail, like how CSS Flexbox grid are working. I think you can directly use it. It is really simple if you can write simple CSS. And I haven't actually covered UI UX portion as well using Figma. Maybe if you want, just let me know, or maybe we can discuss in some session how designs are available from Figma and how we can convert that design back to our React component. And maybe I have also forgotten some of the important topic as well. I'm trying to cover as much as possible from the syllabus. But if you think some of the other topics, or if you are hearing some of the trending topics as well, because everything is changing, right? Just let me know. If I know about it, then we'll definitely discuss. Maybe you can research together as well. And we'll try to cover everything. We'll try to actually get rid of every confusion that we have in React. And if you think that we need to cover a little bit about backend as well, like creating API through backend database, communicating with the database, maybe we can do that as well in 1 or 2 sessions if we have time remaining. Okay, so is there any question? Anything that you want to ask? Otherwise, we'll end this session here. All right, so yeah, I hope everyone tomorrow before coming into the session, you'll try to actually implement this feature. Once you click on the submit button, your some title or name will be visible here, and we'll continue from here. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your response. Have a great day ahead. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you, Gaurav. Good night.